start recording, warm up your microphone. Talk to your microphone. This is what we semi-weekly as of late. Kinda sometimes. Things are somehow nothing is happening, and also I'm always busy. It's true. All right. I don't know. Robot? Right. Now I'm Sam Cherry. Good. I think my intro sounded gross because I'm eating a piece of sushi. No way, dude. No, I got it from a Publix. Really? I don't think they have Publix in Louisville. Right, of course. Right. It's the exact same brand and quality as the Kroger sushi. It's made by the same people. So it's like that. I assume, the thing is, they have a guy back there, and it seems like the guy makes the sushi. Maybe it's just all the like packaging, but I would assume it's the same fish too, right? Like I assume they're sending in the same supplies. So yeah, I go back to my previous statement. It's the exact same sushi. Sure. Right. You got a whole salmon? Wow. It's got shredded chicken, salmon, mixed nuts. Shitty. Ugh. Gym food is like, it seems like a nightmare world. I obviously there's a trade-off, like you get to look like The Rock and that's cool. But it's like, oh yeah, you're going to spend 3 to 4 hours of your day in the gym, and also you have to just eat little containers of shredded chicken and like an egg white, and that's just life for you. You get to be really strong, and that's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to be able to rip a door off its hinges. You know what I mean? Like I would love to be able to pick up a car and save a kitten underneath, right? I want to be able to jump over a building. Yeah, they're getting ready. Yeah, they're getting ready. It's part of a car. Yeah, sure. Right. You just like the tire of Theseus. You just like, it's basically like, when does the car stop being a car? Like, I don't know, maybe the tire. Maybe you are lifting a car up, you know? Right, right, right. And he takes off your blindfold and you're like, wow, you've been riding this bike this whole time. I will tell you, I think my favorite part of gym culture is when someone's lifting real strong and they're having a lift off, and one guy's lifting up a car, and then another guy's lifting up like a minivan, and then this real skinny dude comes up, and they're like, "What? He can't lift anything." And then he takes off the really heavy bracelets that he's been wearing, and they like smack and like makes big craters on the ground. They're like, "Oh my god, he's been wearing weighted bracelets this whole time." And then he lifts up a whole bus over his head with like one hand. That's my favorite part of the gym. Kumail Nanjiani, is he? I know him. I'm trying to. I can see his face in my brain, and I know who he is, but I'm trying to remember the name of a single movie he's been in. Big Sick. He's the Big Sick guy. Yeah. Right. Right. He's in indie fame territory. Well, just like Dave Chappelle. He is super buff. That's true. It was sort of a reverse Dave Chappelle, where he was super famous and then got buff. He is getting buff and then will become super famous. Yeah, of course. It's classic, classic, classic. Of course, yeah, of course. What? When you say bike, do you mean motorcycle? You mean bicycle? Wow. What? What? I was gonna make a bike for all joke and I didn't know. I thought you were gonna do a bike for all joke. He's not raising money for Alzheimer's research. He's just like hanging out with his buds. I I I I can't imagine a life where I could just materialize money like that. Cuz like look, don't get me wrong, and I think I've stated this plenty of times on the show. Stand-up comedy is very hard and takes a lot of work. But it's also just talking, right? Like can you imagine having a life where you're just like, I'm just going to kind of have fun and do whatever I want, and then it's like it sounds like magic where it's like, "Oh, we're running out of money. I'll just walk into a room and talk, and then I'll have a bunch more money, and then we're good." Yeah, exactly. He's put in the work, right? That's the point. Is now he is at a place where it's like, I can just do jokes. Right. I'm Dave Chappelle. Right. Yeah. I think in another life, and I think about this a lot. It's not a life that I would pursue. I was talking to Sophie about this morning, because she for work needed to present a TED talk. Not like give a TED talk, but like they were like, "Hey, in this meeting, we want." They have like a rotating cast of like someone always presents a video, and it's like a vaguely like business video, like just something business. So it was her turn, and she needed to find a video to play, and so she was looking at TED talks. And I just think in a different life, I could be like business consultant guy. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy who comes in and is just like, what you all need to do is find your piece and take that piece and go out and conquer. And like do that shit just at bit. Like go to business to business and be like, you need to find your inner tiger, and take that tiger and put him on the table. What you need to do, I should be better at this. See, the thing is, if I actually could do this, because I've never tried, I'm doing a shitty job. But imagine I was doing a good job. Then it would be like that. I know, right? I'm taking off the bracelets, and they're like, psh, psh, and there's big craters in the ground, and then I'm like, take your inner tiger, and they're like, here's free money. That's what I'm trying to describe. But I actually don't know how to do that, so I can't make the joke. And I see that now mid-joke. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I bet I could do business talk. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best job. Best job. Because he gets like a 6-figure salary. Yeah, of some weird psycho. Sure, I'm sure. Yeah, we're like a consultant group for rich people. Yeah, sure. Right, it's all lying anyway, right? Well, it's like on that show that I've definitely 100% seen, Tiger King, where that guy doesn't have any money, and then he's like, I'm big money guy, so I should run your tiger park, sign it over to me. And then like now he has money, like he just sort of like kited a check. Not he didn't kite a check, but like he emotionally kited a check where he's like, yeah, I'm rich, so you should give me your money to manage. Cool. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme, but we should do a Ponzi scheme? This is a parody. I don't think legally I can say on a recording we should do a Ponzi scheme. So for our joke podcast, I'd like to say let's do a Ponzi scheme. Okay, okay. Or run one. Yeah. Oh wait, can I stop you for a second? I'd like to introduce you all to Money Boys 2 Payback. The sequel to Money Boys is Money Boys 2 colon Payback. Anyway, go on. Okay. Sure. Right. Cuz right. Cuz what it sounds like you just described to me is basketball. Like that's just how everyone plays basketball now. Like that's just basketball. But it blew everyone's mind at one point. I don't know. There's 3 of them. I don't know what to do. Cuz 4 is just 2 pairs. Just like 2 sets of 2. Right. Right. And if it's 5 of them, they're all busy, so that's good. And if it's 6 of them, they get a foul, so it's fine. Right? 5 people are on a basketball court at one time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if from what I understand of a Ponzi scheme, It's what my boy Billy Millionaire did in the Fire Festival. That's a Ponzi scheme. You don't have any money, and then you're like, if you give me some money, I can manage your money, and then you use that money to pay for later money. Like you never had any money, and you just lie about the money, and then keep kiting checks. Right. Right. Yeah. Spooky, dude. Spooky ooky. Spooky ooky. It's because you didn't say parody when you talked about Ponzi's, and they can't hear me, so they're like, "Uh oh, spooky ooky." I, Let me tell you, I have been the reason our schedule is like we didn't put on an episode the week that we're recording. I think we'll get back to it, but I have been incredibly busy. Here are two tangents that are happening in my life at the same time. I've been incredibly busy. Like I've got some freelance work, and then I've got my regular job, and my regular job has just been like a lot of days on set, a lot of 12-hour days. We had a 16-hour day on an outdoor set. So I was in the sun for all the sun hours and burn all over my whole body. So anyway, I've been tired. I took a day off and I'm fine and whatever, but for the sake of the joke, I didn't. So I've just been like getting more and more tired and more like at that fringe. You feel that where you're so like you're working so much that you're just like, oh, I feel it slipping. I've also found a lot of new sources for conspiracy theories, like a lot of CIA shit and like MK Ultra and like, but then also like the Mothman and a, I know. And also my wife oh, okay. So here's the thing. This just occurred to me. I'm going to say this sentence, and I think you're going to come to the realization that I also just came to the realization of. Okay, when Sophie and I first started dating, she was studying international affairs, I think is the name of the major, because she wanted to join the CIA. And we have a book because of her and not because of me, a book in our house called The Secret History of the CIA. And it's on my reading list because of my steady mental decline. I'm like, I should probably double down on the CIA shit. What if my wife works for the CIA? What if my wife does work for the CIA? What if I'm getting MK Ultra? What if that's what's happening? We have no, but did this happen to someone? Nope. Yes. Don't know his name, but that guy, yes. Sure. I'll start Googling while you tell the story. You got it. Mm. All right, I probably would have found it. I was typing Mel Gibson conspiracy, so that works. Yeah. Sure. Yes. Yeah, of course. Uh huh. Oh. Spooky. Oh. With The Catcher in the Rye. This doesn't sound like a good movie. It's very confusing. Got it. So, sorry. I just want to get. So, a guy who's already crazy. He starts in the beginning. He's crazy. Okay, but a guy who, to the outside world, is not to be believed because he is crazy. Okay, if all the conspiracies were true, what's it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the CIA killed Kennedy and we all just know it, then who cares? Then they got away with it and we all just know it. Again, I'm not endorsing that conspiracy. I'm just saying, like, if the moon landing was fake and we're all just talking about it, I'm getting MK Ultra. What I'm saying is, if I'm saying Ted Cruz's dad for being the Zodiac killer, and also, or no, Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer and his dad killed Kennedy. Is that what it is? What I'm saying is, okay, let's take the moon landing. Let's take one that's somehow less of a hot button conspiracy theory. Okay, let's take it as read. You believe that the government faked the moon landing to bankrupt the Soviet Union and win the Cold War and inspire morale. And then later also like actually figured out real space travel or something. But at the moment they fake the moon landing, right? So that is a thing that's in the culture that everyone knows people say, but generally disregard those people as insane cranks, right? That is the culture at the beginning of the movie. That everyone has heard this conspiracy theory, is familiar with at least the idea of it, and thinks people who believe it are insane cranks. Then you have, and you're the CIA in this story, and then you find out that this guy, played by Mel Gibson, finds out that in fact you did fake the moon landing. Why do you need to frame him? What could he do? Like, what could he possibly do? Go around telling everyone that the moon landing is fake? We already agree as a culture that people who think that are insane cranks. So, like, why do you need to frame him with the Catcher in the Rye? Like, he figured it out, but who cares? We all know. Oh. MK Ultra'd him. Whatever they fucking did, who knows? Let me just drop some knowledge. And this is totally parody, even though I heard it on a podcast. I don't know what I'm worried about. This is totally parody and not what I think or believe. I will give you a couple of facts, then just let them sit there. Uh-huh. The guy that killed Oswald, what's his first name? No. The guy, who's the guy that killed Kennedy? Allegedly. I'm kidding. I don't know. the fuck? What's that guy? What is his name? Oswald something, right? I know Charles Couteau shot Garfield, but I don't know the guy that killed Kennedy. What's that guy's name? We can't look it up. We obviously have to remember his name. What is it? No, you're fine. What is it? Lee Harvey Oswald. So the guy. So I think his name's like Ruby or something. It's like Jack Ruby. So Jack Ruby kills Lee Harvey Oswald, right? Okay. And then the last guy to see Jack Ruby is this scientist who worked for the CIA in some of their experimental MK Ultra shit. And what happened is that he went into the room with the man, who then had a psychotic break and went completely insane, and then was like locked up or something, was like sent away because he had completely lost his mind. And the doctor, I think his name's Lee, the doctor was like, he's insane, so obviously just disregard him and put him away somewhere. Now, the thing that's weird is that this guy, the doctor, his job, what he was studying at the CIA, was two things: how to use drugs for mind control. Like, hey, is mind control a thing? I guess we'll try to figure it out. Like, again, it sounds crazy, but it's like, that's what MK Ultra was, is they were using LSD and acid to try to like figure out if they could do mind control. Like, did it work? I don't know. Probably not. But like, that's just the facts of the matter. That's what the project was, right? So we worked on that. And then also research into how to send people into an insane fugue state. That was what he researched, was how to drive people insane. And he's the last guy that saw the guy who killed Kennedy. And he had a psychotic break. Jack Ruby, before he spontaneously went insane. The guy researching spontaneous insanity and how to induce spontaneous insanity was the last person to see Jack Ruby before he went spontaneously insane. Also, Jack Ruby had no memory of the fact and could not figure out why he killed Lee Harvey Oswald. But also, he did meet with the doctor whose two jobs were hypnotizing people and driving them instantly insane. So I'm just letting you know that that's something that happened. Allegedly. Parody, allegedly. I just want to give you an idea of where I'm at in sort of my headspace. Maybe I'm getting MK Ultra and I'm going insane. Yeah. Because then I would be Mel Gibson and I would say it and people would be like, "Oh, that guy's a crank. He's crazy. We should punch him." None. I'm on no Reddit pages. I'm on I'm getting my CIA wife is putting LSD in my food and I'm losing my mind. I spent a lot. Okay, as it's been well documented, my personality is made up of the last two podcasts I listened to. So I've spent. Now, you missed 2 weeks where I listened to a bunch of nerdy podcasts about nerd shit, and I was very happy. Then I did spend about a day and a half just listening to Lizard People, the conspiracy theory podcast. And now I'm here. So. I don't want to be. Is Joe Rogan into conspiracy theories? So weird. Think about it. He's got business guy energy. He's got like pothead mixed with business guy energy. Oh, cool. Right. I found an article from the New York Times that was written in 1964, and it says, I'm not joking about any of this. Mind expert says Ruby was insane. He asserts defendant had a psychotic episode. This is March 11th, 1964. I am sorry that this is where things are going. The doctor's name is not Lee at all. His name is Dr. Manfred Gutmacher. I don't I don't know if he's the guy that I heard about, but yeah. Oh yeah, he's the guy with two first names. Yeah, just sort of like randomly murdered the guy. Spooky shit. Yeah, there's not a lot of people who murder someone and then not don't admit to it, but say, "Yeah, I don't remember doing that though." Like, you know what I mean? Like, not saying like I'm innocent. He's just like, "No, I guess I did do that, but I don't know why I would have done that." It's almost like he was hypnotized by drugs. The MK Ultra works. No. Yeah. Yeah. We can just use bullets. We don't need to hypnotize people. We just kill them. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Right. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. We can't put LSD until they kill the president. I guess that's true. I remembered so I was googling that I remembered where I heard this. It was from an episode of Chapo. Man, I've got a real simple game, huh? It's pretty obvious what I got going on. I listen to 2 podcasts, and that's my whole personality. So I'm gonna go back into the funny zone. The funny zone. Oh yeah, I'm not like out on the. Yeah, I'm not trying to like convince people to like me at this point. True, 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 true. Sure. And to be fair, I don't talk to my wife about how the CIA killed JFK. A thing that I don't believe. I don't think. I. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that, and I want to be clear, and I feel like I should spend the rest of the podcast being a little more normal. What if I was way more little loosey goosey Aaron Carter normal? What's that? What if I just, hey man, what if we were just like, didn't spend half an hour talking about the CIA again? Super normal. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got one of those and it was supposed to be a motion detector. It didn't work for shit. It didn't do anything. Right. What? What? What have you done to our audience? You know how many breakups you are going to cause? That sucks. I would not want that for 1 minute. Ugh. Yeah. See, I fell for the thing like the commercial. Again, I did immediately. I was like, oh, and then you'll hear, and it's like, wait a minute, what are you going to hear? Like, again, on the off chance someone's talking shit about you or like randomly starts speaking in another language and you know that it's an op, like, okay, be more normal, be more normal, be more, let's go back to the anime jokes, let's be more normal, take off your bracelets, they make big craters, let's be more normal. Um, and the off chance someone's talking shit, like, what would it matter if you listen to someone's conversation in another room? They're probably just on TikTok, so you'll just hear TikToks from another room. That's true. Sure. Yeah. Sure, of course. Obviously, I get that. Yeah, I've seen most of it. Mm-hmm. Us? No. Oh yeah, I gotta catch back up. I haven't listened in a couple of weeks. Are you caught up on graduation? Sure. Right. Oh, that's a good one. Sure. Mmm. Sure. It's like if D&D met anime. That's fair. Bet that big bird they fight. Let me look up this big bird. Oh yeah. Yeah. And they don't fight the swamp monster. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. He's a good bloke. Proper lad. I'm sorry, are they all British in this episode? What are you talking about? Be a lad, be like a big lad, be a big strong lad. Hanging out with his mates, just trying to throw back some pints. Good lad. Yes. That's some fucking energy right there. That's definitely a yeah, that's some very significant energy. Yeah. He looks like a bird. I got him. And it would be cool to watch it. Like, they're drawing that bird and they're like, yo, but what if they fucking fought it? And we can just do that. We can just draw it and that happen. That can just be what happens. Right. But then they level up. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. My wife just brought me pork chops because she made dinner, and it's delicious. Yeah, and now I'm just feeling that good LSD dosing, and so now I would love to talk more about Avatar. I'm glad it came onto Netflix. It's a very good show. Everyone is watching it now, which is awesome. I never finished it all the way through, so I'm like working. I remember. I think I got to the end of like book 1 or 2. There's 3 books, 4 books. Yeah, I think I got. I remember significantly the finale of book 1. Like I know, and I don't want to talk about it in case you haven't seen it, but I remember what happens there. But I just never got through the whole series because it was on like syndication or it was on TV every weekend. I just couldn't catch it. So I'm excited to work my way through it. We're watching Atlanta right now, Atlanta and 30 Rock because 30 Sophie I like 30 Rock as well, but that's Sophie's show, and then I was having Donald Glover withdraws from Community, and so I'm watching Atlanta, which is also very good. I mean, it's a phenomenal television show. It's really amazing how good it is. It's crazy. It's just every episode I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe they did that. Like it's just man, it's such a good television show. Like I can't remember the last show I saw that was like basically an anthology, but was so where every episode I was like, yes, I have to know what happens next, even though I know that like it's not even next. Like it's not even You could play all the episodes out of order and it wouldn't matter. But like I kind of there's a couple of things that happen, but like, oh my gosh, they're so like, yeah. You seen season 1? The one where it's like a cable news show. Holy shit. Well, right. Well, like in the episode where it's here's what's cool and exciting about the show. The one where it's like the Vanessa episode, right? Where it's all her. The first 20 minutes is her at it. Not 20 minutes, of course not. The first 8 minutes, 8 minutes of a 22-minute show. The first 8 minutes is her at dinner with her friend, and the dialogue is so good and it's so interesting, and everything is so like biting and snappy and full of all of this pretense, and the tension it's building. What's so cool about this television show is that 7 minutes into this 8-minute scene, I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is the episode. Like, I wonder if literally it's going to be 20 minutes of these two people at dinner. And it could have been. Like, it wasn't, but it could have been. Like, that's the possibilities and in the show is that, like, we might do an episode that's 20 minutes of Vanessa and this character you've never met talking at dinner. And it'll be, yes, and it will be incredibly compelling. Like, it's going to blow your mind. But also it's just, and there's like an episode where it's like, it starts with a commercial for the Charger, and you're like, what's happening? Like the Dodge Charger, and you're like, is it? And it's also bizarre to watch on Hulu because there are real ads in there, so you're like, is this a fake ad or a real ad? Which I guess is how it would play when it was on FX. But it's like, what's going on? And they're like talking about homophobia and trans rights and the rap community and the black community and white activism and intersectionality and but it's all through the lens of this like shitty like public access thing and Paperboy, and he's just there being Paperboy, and he's like, hey man, I'm here to get paid, and they're like, you're not getting paid, and he's like, Earn, what do you, and that's it, that's the only reference to Earn in the entire episode is he like talks off screen to Earn, and I thought it was like, oh well, this is the end, like they're gonna do this segment, go to commercials, and then be like, no, this is the episode where we do this now. It's so the guy that directs it or has directed several of the episodes is the guy that does all of Donald Glover's music videos. No, Hayao. No. It's H&M. It's like Hayao. I don't remember his last name. Not Hayao Miyazaki, but it's Hayao Mori, Muri, maybe. Hayao Mori. I don't remember his name. That guy, he did Sweatpants and 3005 and Sober and This Is America. Yeah. Well, his whole thing is so crazy to me because what I'm gonna call him Hayao Mori because I don't remember his name. No, I'm not, because that seems weird if I'm getting his name wrong. Okay, well then um hold on 2 seconds. My wife has lost the remote, so why don't you look it up and then I will edit it. Yeah, she already found it. I saw that. Apparently, I saw that text late. Did you get his name? Murai. I'm gonna call him Hyro. Murai. Morai. I bet if I Google his name, there's a pronunciation. Well, the thing is, we're already gonna break it. We're already gonna like edit it. How do you spell his first name? Hyro. Oh, right. Hyro. Pronunciation. Director. Here it is. Now I'm listening to a Hellman's ad. This is an ad for mayonnaise. This mayonnaise commercial is so long. I wonder if it's going to come through in the recording. Say your name. Oh, this is so funny. Hiro Murai. His name is Hiro Murai. So it's not Hiro Mori, it's Hiro Murai. Anyway, here I know. I'm the worst. Hiro Murai, his whole like thing, and you can see this iterated, and it like comes to a head with This Is America. Like, and also, audience, if you haven't seen those 4 music videos, just go watch them. They're music videos. But like, it's also music. There is this great like breaking expectations, like iteration and subverting expectations to like this in this way that like anything can happen. Like Sweatpants, it's like, oh, he gets up and he's walking, and then he comes back. I'm assuming everyone's watched these now, so I'm gonna spoil how the music videos go. And then he walks back in the diner, and then like one person has his face, and then he walks back, and then like half the people have his face, and then he comes back, and everyone, and it's like this loop, right? 3005 is the same way. He's on the Ferris wheel, and every time they go around, they'll kind of spin the camera, and you can't see anything, and then you come back to the exact same place, but it's just a little bit different and a little bit crazier. And then in Sober, it doesn't have that iteration, but everything's like, oh, Donald Glover's being weird, blah, blah, blah. And then it hits the breakdown, and he like floats up on the table and like spins around, and the lights are all flat. And you're like, what's happening? Like you know what I mean? And like in 3005, when the whole like place is on fire, and it's like, and the bear is like looking around, and you're like, what on earth is what is going on? And of course that all comes to a head in This Is America, where like every beat of that music video is just like, set up an expectation, destroy that expectation. Set up a new expectation, destroy that expectation. Like I think part of why that video is so compelling is because if you really like, if you paced it out, or if you wrote out the status quo of like, what do you think this is going to be? The next scene is blowing that up. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, just even the first like 25 seconds, right? It's like, you see this chair, and you're like, I think it starts, and the guy, yeah, you see this chair, and you're like, okay, and music is playing, and it's like, and then you come around a corner, and it's like, oh, then Donald Glover's here. Okay, so the music is playing, but there's nobody there, and then he is like dancing all goofy, and it's like, oh, it's bad dancing. Okay, and then you see the guy, and you're like, oh, now the guy is here. Okay, so this is like a fun kind of a kawaii kind of song, and then he pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head, and you're like, oh, and then he's not being funny. He's dancing, or he's like being super hardcore. But then like, as soon as he does that, he starts doing weird dances again. And you're like, okay, so now it's goofy. And then all the kids come out, and you're like, okay, now it's like a dance with kids. And then there's lots of kids. And then the kids go away, and he like, it's like, oh, because he's going to be dancing with these kids for the video? No. And then the kids stop, and he just walks away from the kids. And it's like, okay, the kids are gone now. And then he shoots everybody. Yeah, right. You're like, oh, so this is a single shot. We're just going to do one. We're going to do a one shot through the whole thing. No, we're in a different place. Okay. And now there's a choir. Okay. And now he's going to kill the choir. Okay. And it's just like scene after scene after scene. And like you hit this apex, and then it just stops, and he smokes a cigarette, and you're like, and then and then it cuts. And there's a cut, and you're in a new place, and the guy's back, and he's got the guitar, and then you know what I mean? And it's just like and then it's over, but then it isn't over, and they play a different song, and he's running, and it's like this crazy set of like, there's iteration, in like visuals, right? Like you see a lot. You see the kids over and over again. You see the guy with the guitar over and over again. You see things go from really crazy to really chill, really crazy to really chill. Like you're always kind of off balance, but it's this somehow this iteration and acceleration that is so in it's like in the ethos of the film where like you feel it, where you're like anything could happen or also nothing could happen. But it's just and that's all through Atlanta. Like Atlanta is nowhere as crazy as any of those music videos, but you feel that Hiramori, I already forgot. Hiramori's, you feel his like essence in the TV show. Where it's, and again, it's probably because it's Donald Glover too. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Zach, I literally I just realized that that's what happened. Like I saw the guy like flip in the air and like my brain registered he got hit by a car. I did not make the connection. Oh, that's the invisible car. Cuz what it is he's like, "Yo, this dude's so loaded. He's got an invisible car." And then he shows him pictures on Instagram and it's a dude just standing in a parking spot pointing at nothing. I totally had forgotten about that. Well, also there's this whole thing in that episode where Ern, played by Don Glover, is like trying to get paid, like he's trying to get money for this club appearance that they're doing. And you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's like this guy is trying to cheat him," and you've kind of realized at this point like he doesn't want to pay him. He's not going to pay him. He's getting totally gypped. And then they're at a bar for like the second time where he's like, "Nah, dude, I need to get paid." And he's like, "Hey, man, it's cool. Let me buy you a drink. I'll pay you." And he's like, "Okay." And then as Ern is getting his drink, the dude takes a step back and spins through a panel in the wall and is just like, and you're just watching it like, what just happened? Like, what? Like, he literally just kind of puts his weight against the wall and the whole wall turns around and he's gone. And Ern turns around fast enough to see it. Like, he sees the wall close and is like, and whatever. And then the plot goes on, whatever. But it's like, that is the energy that the show, or the episode where they're with the social media guy. And you're like, is this going to end in a shooting? Or is Paperboy just going to get out of the car and walk home? And it's like, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next in this show that's about kind of nothing, but also, it's just, I love shows that are about like an idea. It feels like Donald Glover shows up to the episode and says, "I want to talk about this idea." And then whatever. It's like an anthology. Oh, yeah. Right. Right. So they're on a boat with some frog people. All right, I get it. That's fine. Yeah, it's like, okay, sure. Right. Right. Or like, yeah. Or you watch a 7 minute dinner scene in a 22-minute show and you're like, is this the episode? Like, that would be cool, but also, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, is this what we're doing? And then it isn't, but it's like, oh, this is just a Vanessa episode. They've never done this before. This isn't a show where they pick a character and follow them the whole way through. But today, that's what we're doing. And we're going to just watch Vanessa for 20 minutes. And that's it. And it's just her story. And it's such good television, man. It's so good. I know there's 2 seasons and the second season ended a couple years ago. So I don't know if the show is canceled or not, or just not coming back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, well, it's like his music. It's like he's quit rap like 5 times. I mean, he doesn't do rap anymore, but like he's quit music like 5 times, and it's just like, okay, dude, just come back whenever. Yeah, sure, I'm down. You want to do the outro? All that cool shit that you take a break from for an hour when you listen to us. All right. See you. Bye forever. Stop recording.